Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Friday, January 20th, 2023. It's about 10:30 in the morning here, Central Time. I find myself in Austin, Texas today. I'm very disappointed in the outcome of the Supreme Court's so-called investigation in order to find out who the leaker was of Justice Samuel Alito's draft opinion in the Dobbs case. You may recall this brouhaha from last February when the draft opinion written by Justice Alito and temporarily signed off on by five of his colleagues. I say temporarily because this was in February, which was 4 months before the actual opinion came out. The draft was leaked. I surmised at the time that it was leaked either by someone who wanted to cause an uproar to see if that person could shake loose the weakest member of the majority, the Supreme Court justice who had the most doubts about the opinion and who would fear the public uproar, or that it was leaked by someone who wanted to lock that person in. But either way, in my view, was then and still is now that the leaker is an inside person who either liked the draft opinion or hated the draft opinion. Well, the draft opinion is substantially the same as the final opinion that came out. We all know the outcome there was a 6-3 vote to invalidate the parts of Roe versus Wade that addressed abortion. There are parts of Roe versus Wade that do not address abortion and that from a libertarian perspective are excellent. We're just talking about the abortion parts of Roe versus Wade that was invalidated by the Dobbs opinion. And I applauded that, even though I thought there was a better way to do it. And you will recall that that invalidation of Roe versus Wade took it away from the federal government, said it's a state issue. The federal courts don't have jurisdiction over it, and Congress can't legislate on it. Okay, that's where we are today. But yesterday we learned that after a 6-month investigation, the marshals that work for the Supreme Court, many of whom are former military intelligence, former FBI, sophisticated investigators, were unable to find the culprit. Well, the reason they couldn't find the culprit is because they don't have subpoena power. They can ask people to talk to them, and those people can say, go take a hike. If there were litigation or if there were a criminal investigation, then there'd be either subpoena power by the lawyers in the litigation or subpoena power from a grand jury. So if Chief Justice Roberts is serious about finding out who the leaker was, whether it's a member of the court or whether it's a clerk for the court, it could only have been those 45 people, the 9 justices and their 36 clerks. Nobody else would have had their hands on this. Maybe there's another 10 people that are in IT that work for the court. If, on the other hand, it was some outside person, well, then we have a crime. And then that's the basis for the criminal investigation. And the criminal investigation would give the FBI and the federal prosecutors in Washington, D.C., the ability to summon a grand jury and to issue subpoenas and maybe even to get some search warrants. None of this is new to the Chief Justice, and he certainly doesn't need me to tell him how these things work. But I'm not so sure that he's so serious about finding the culprit, because this investigation was fruitless. And if he really wants to find the culprit, he knows how to do it. More as we get it. Judge Napolitano from a freezing cold Austin, Texas, for Judging Freedom.